This is the Real-Time Analysis and Critical Response Division, otherwise known as RACER. Come on inside and meet up with Chief Charlie Beck for a conversation regarding the Chief's message for November 2013. Sir, we're at the new RACER facility. I have to say that, this is very impressive. We've come a long ways from the basement across from PAB.
Yeah, very humble beginnings in 2005 when we started RACER. It was a reclaimed space. It used to be part of communications division. Tough place to work, 4 floors underground, no windows. Still no windows, but a much nicer work environment.
So, in a nutshell, what's the responsibilities to RACER? I know they answer as far as notifications to you, but what else do they do?
RACER is the 24/7, 365 days a year brains of the police department. RACER is the people that coordinate the activities of the department when nobody else is here. They also do crime analysis programs, they keep abreast of media. They are really the go-to entity within the police department for not only what I need, but for what cops on the street need. You need information about tracking a car, you need LPR data, all of that, contact RACER.
So we can actually make a phone call and grab somebody on the phone 24 hours here.
That is the absolute goal.
So we have Captain Romero here. Sir, what are we seeing on the screen here today?
So the 9-screen view is the Palantir view, and within 2 minutes of a radio call being generated, an icon will appear on the screen, and it's going to stay up there for 24 hours. So we can tell if there's a trend going on in the city. If there's robberies block to block across Van Owen in the valley, it shouldn't be but 2, maybe the third one, before we know we have a trend. 2 bomb calls. They might be related, they might not. If they're both at schools or both at churches, we know very quickly it should only take 2 calls before we know there's a trend going on in the city.
So we're really looking at the real-time analysis and happening,
Right.
Is that right?
That's the goal.
That would be the tactical side. We have, of course, ComStat on the strategic side. Everything in here is tactical. We're worried about minute to minute. Is the city in balance with cars and with calls? And if there's a major incident, that not everyone is going on their own.
Very good. Sir, we've always been a department that's evolving, and we've always been on the cusp of technology. And here with RACER, we're no different. But when you look at it, where are we going to go in the future? I know that the mayor has implemented, with your office as well, the cyber intrusion plan.
Right. Well, we have a number of pieces that are very important. Cyber crime becomes more and more prevalent and starts to replace traditional crime. We have to monitor that, and that's one of the priorities that we've given RACER in the new millennium here. But RACER is much more than just about cybercrime. RACER should evolve and is evolving into the brains of the police department. And so we have a bunch of great cops out there, and we can make them even greater by coordinating their activities. And that's the goal with RACER. As we start rolling out new technology such as the vehicle locators in the police cars, RACER will be able to coordinate responses even better. We'll be able to let people know who are in the area of crimes that occur, what's occurring. It's going to be a system that makes us all much more effective.
Now, sir, when you were the deputy chief in detectives, you were very supportive and a proponent of a lot of technology. One of the issues that I know that you wrote about was predictive policing. Is RACER going to get involved in that?
Well, RACER is involved in that, and that's one of the reasons Captain Romero is here. He is one of our most forward-thinking individuals in the use of data to police, and RACER can have a key role in predictive policing. And predictive policing is not the be-all and end-all of car deployment or officer deployment, but it could be. So this is something that is very new. Working with UCLA. On the algorithms that allow us to deploy cops to the exact right spot where a crime may occur, and it needs more development. But I got a lot of faith in it, and good faith in the people that are doing it.
So let's talk about technology for a moment. Let's say that you and I are going to go out on patrol, and obviously you're going to drive because you outrank me, so I'm going to take books. So we go to the kit room, sir, and walk up to the kit room officer, and that person hands me an on-body mic.
Yeah.
And my first reaction is, whoa, what's this? So what are we doing with that, sir?
Well, as everybody that works in a black and white in this uniform knows, you are the constant subject of everybody's attention. If anybody thinks that they're not being filmed the vast majority of their shift, they're wrong. Not only do we have static cameras all over the city, private static cameras that film your every move, but cell phones and the absolute constant presence of visuals of video surveillance is a reality. So it's important that since this is going to be the way that we have to police in the future, that we control it. And I want to give officers the best defense possible to explain their actions and to make sure those actions are correct. And I think on-body cameras is the way to do that.
We also talk about the video. Are we going to phase 2 inside the cars as well?
Well, we got approval for phase 2, which will be all of Central Bureau, and now we're working on the funding. I have enough funding to do about half, and we're working on the rest of the funding. So you should be seeing that roll out in the near future. Everybody has to recognize, this is not a South Bureau issue. This South Bureau is where I started because I thought it was important to start in South Bureau, but this is going to roll out to the whole city. And it may take a little time, but we'll get there. And we're in the process of buying several hundred new Ford SUVs. Matter of fact, I think we're going to take a look at one pretty quick.
Yes, sir. So when we get inside that car, and I'm going to look around, of course, I've got my cup holder, and I'm looking for a new computer.
Well, and you're going to see one. You'll see a touchscreen. You're going to have license plate recognition. You're going to have in-car video capabilities. You'll have a vehicle locator system so that you're always safe. A number of things that we'll be able to do to make your job not only more efficient, but maybe a little bit easier. Automated logs should be rolling out. A lot of positive things for the patrol cop.
So you're talking about the electronic DFAR.
Electronic DFAR,
That's,
yeah.
As you know, you did many of those yourself, and you get your head down in that car,
Yeah.
and you're writing that thing out. You really want to have something that's not only accurate, but easy to punch out.
Well, easy to punch out, and we're all held to the standards of the documents that we create, and so I want to make it easier to be more accurate. And so this will allow all of us to do that.
So what we're looking at, of course, as you well know, is that the less paperwork we have, the faster we can get back out on the street.
Well, the faster we can get back out on the street, and the goal is not only that it's less, but that it's more accurate. If one of the problems that we always have, and anybody that's been to court knows this, is if you got to fill out the same information on 4 documents, you're going to get it wrong on one of them, and you'll be held to that standard. But with reports that self-populate and things like that, then it's always correct.
So after we get done, we've got our guy he's in jail, and we've put our paperwork together and handed it in. It's been signed off. I'm about ready to go home, but you go, oh, wait a minute, not so fast. I want you to take a look at a website here, and that's the BlueLine Connect.com. What is that, sir?
It's a website that we're becoming involved in. It's free to police officers. It allows you to enter conversations with not only LAPD officers, but police officers all over the nation about our profession. You get to see what best practices are. You get to discuss what best practices should be, and you get to do it in the privacy of our profession. You don't have to share it with people on the outside. It's a really good system. I encourage everybody to look into it.
Sir, it's November, and it's Veterans Month, and I know that this is something that's really close to you. Your thoughts on our employees that serve in the military?
Well, just being a police officer is a huge community and public safety service, but to also serve in the military as a reserve or as a former veteran, that's double the service, and we should really respect and honor those that have served this country. Since I've been the chief, we've had 2 Los Angeles police officers killed in the line of duty in Afghanistan, and I think about them every day, and those kind of sacrifices define who we are. This is a police department that recognizes that what we do is not only of extreme value to this city, to this nation, to the world, but also is very dangerous for us personally. And it's always a balance, and we always got to recognize each other. This is a tough job, and I know it's a tough job, and there's a lot of things that go with it that wear on a person, and that can physically damage you, just like being a veteran. And so we got to recognize that.
This is probably a great opportunity for us to reach out to their families, just to make a phone call and to talk with them.
They have tremendous families, and one of the byproducts of this horrible tragedy is that I've got to spend a lot of time with them. And both families are tremendous, and have strong support from the department. You never leave this police department, whether you retire, whether you pass away, you're always part of it, and we make sure of that. So in the coming months, you're going to see over 400 of these new cars roll out into your divisions. We selected each and every one of them to make you safer. We selected each and every one of them to make you more effective. I think you're going to really like them. A couple things I ask you to do. take care of them. These are a huge resource for the department. The other thing is take care of yourself. Wear your seatbelt, drive responsibly. Doesn't make any difference how fast you go if you don't get there.